Help me hit 6,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and share your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. My name is Oliver Bennett, and I never imagined that a single afternoon could rewrite everything I believed about my marriage. I used to think that heartbreak came like a sharp crack. Loud, dramatic, impossible to ignore. But the truth is, my marriage didn't shatter like glass. It eroded quietly, the way shorelines vanish one tide at a time. I married Lila, a woman who had a laugh so bright it could fill an empty room. Or maybe I just wanted to believe that. For years, people admired us, the perfect couple, the steady ones, the dependable two, and maybe we were. Or maybe we were just good at keeping up the performance. Looking back now, I think the first warning sign was how often her phone started lighting up at night. She always turned it face down. Always. But I didn't push. I've never been the kind of man who snoops or accuses. I believed in trust stupidly, stubbornly. Or maybe gently. Depends on who you ask. One Tuesday evening, I came home early from work. I'd planned to surprise Lila with her favorite lemon tarts from that little bakery downtown. The house was unusually quiet. No music, no humming from the kitchen, no soft shuffle of her socks on the hardwood floor. But her purse was on the table. Keys still in the bowl. She was home. Lila? I called out. No answer. I walked toward our bedroom, and that's when I heard it. Her voice, soft, anxious, almost trembling through the slightly open bathroom door. No, he doesn't know. He trusts me. He always has, she whispered. A pause. Then, quieter. Yes, I'll see you tomorrow. Same place. I didn't step closer. I didn't fling open the door. I just stood there, lemon tart box in my hand, feeling something warm and sharp crawl under my ribs. She walked out moments later and froze when she saw me. Her face shifted, surprise, then guilt, then a carefully rehearsed smile. Oh, hey, you're home early. She kissed my cheek. I pretended not to feel the tremor in her lips. That night I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling for hours, wondering if marriage was supposed to feel like being in the wrong room at the wrong time. The next day, I followed my instinct, not to her phone, not to her messages, but to something more reliable. People's patterns. When someone changes their habits, there's always a reason. And when the reason is secretive, it's rarely innocent. Lila had a standing yoga class every Wednesday evening. I had never questioned it. Not once. But that Wednesday, I sat in my truck across from the studio. She wasn't there. Instead, I watched her car pull into the parking lot of a small hotel 3 blocks away. Not a fancy one. Not a discreet one. Just ordinary. The kind of place chosen by people who don't want to be seen, but also don't care enough to hide well. She wasn't alone. Her brother-in-law Dylan stepped out from the passenger side. I blinked. Once. Twice. No, it couldn't be. But it was. Dylan. Her sister's husband. A man I'd shared holidays with. A man who'd toasted at our wedding. They walked inside together. Close. Too close. I didn't confront them. I didn't storm in. I didn't even start the engine. I just sat there, breathing in a silence so heavy it felt like the entire world had stopped. When I finally drove home, I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I didn't even feel shock. What I felt was something colder, steadier, clarity. The next morning, I contacted a lawyer. By evening, word had already reached their family. I shouldn't have been surprised. Secrets like theirs survived on speed, gossip, excuses, frantic damage control. That night, her sister Mara showed up at my door. I'd always liked Mara. She was gentle, a kindergarten teacher, the calmest person at any family gathering. She looked shaken now. Oliver, wait, she said, grabbing my arm as I tried to close the door. Please, Lila, she loves you. She really does. I looked at her, really looked at her. Her eyes were glossy. Her hands trembled. Guilt clung to her like a shadow. Mara, I said quietly, she loves your husband even more. The color drained from her face. And in that moment, watching the realization hit her, I understood that my marriage wasn't just broken. It had dragged someone else's life down with it. Mara didn't speak at first. She just stood there, fingers curled into the sleeves of her cardigan, like she was bracing against a storm she never saw coming. "Oliver," she finally whispered, "are you sure? Maybe you misunderstood. Maybe it's not what it looks like." But that was the problem, it was exactly what it looked like. "I saw them," I said, "going into the hotel. Together." Her breath caught, and for a second her heartbreak eclipsed mine. "Dylan and Lila?" she echoed, as if saying it aloud might make it untrue. I nodded. A tear slipped down her cheek, silent and stunned. Mara wasn't dramatic. She wasn't loud. She was the kind of person who cried quietly, like she didn't want to inconvenience the world. Watching her break felt wrong, like witnessing a bird fall out of the sky. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. "You don't owe me an apology," I said gently. "You didn't do this." But the truth hung between us. Someone she trusted had betrayed her just as deeply as someone I loved had betrayed me. She took a shaky breath. "What are you going to do now?" "I've already filed," I said. "There's nothing left to talk about." Her eyes widened. "Just like that?" "Yes," I said. "Just like that. Because when someone tears down the foundation of your life, you don't rebuild on the rubble. They've already shown you what they're capable of." Mara wiped her cheek with the back of her hand. "I don't know if I can confront him," she said. "I don't know if I'm strong enough." I hesitated, then shook my head softly. "You're stronger than you think." We stood in silence. The kind that forms when truth has been laid bare and there's nothing left to cushion it. Finally, she squeezed my hand, lightly, almost timidly, and walked away. The door closed behind her, leaving me alone in a house that suddenly felt too large, too quiet, too hollow. When Lila came home an hour later, her keys jingling like nothing had changed, she immediately sensed something different. Maybe it was the stillness. Maybe it was the envelope on the counter. Or maybe she finally felt the weight of the lie she'd been dragging behind her. "What's this?" she asked, picking up the papers. "Divorce," I said simply. Her eyes shot up. "Oliver, what? Why? What are you talking about?" I almost laughed. The audacity of it. The performance. "You really want me to say it?" I asked. Out loud. She stared at me, her expression twisting into the perfect blend of confusion and fear. "I don't understand." "I saw you," I said, "yesterday, at the hotel, with Dylan." Her mask cracked instantly. A small, strangled sound escaped her throat. "Oliver, wait. I can explain." "You shouldn't have to explain something that never should have happened in the first place." She reached for me, but I stepped back. For the first time, she looked genuinely panicked, like the script she'd rehearsed in her head didn't fit the scene she'd walked into. "It was a mistake," she whispered. "It didn't mean anything." "Mistakes are tripping over a step," I said. "Driving to a hotel with your sister's husband is a decision." Tears filled her eyes. She pressed her palms to her forehead and let out a trembling breath. "Please, Oliver. I love you. I do. I'm sorry." There it was again. Love. A word she'd used like a cushion to soften fights, to cover distance, to mask lies. A word that used to warm me, now stripped of every meaning it once held. "You don't get to talk about love," I said quietly. "Not after this." She crumbled onto the couch, sobbing, shaking, whispering apologies that felt rehearsed but empty. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I didn't match her chaos. I just watched, calm, steady, because that's what clarity feels like. When the storm finally left her breathless, she looked up at me with red eyes. "Is there anything I can do?" she asked. "No," I said. "You already did everything." And that was the truth. Sometimes closure isn't a conversation. It's recognizing that the person you built a life with was never building alongside you. That night, I packed a small bag and checked into a quiet hotel across town. I didn't slam the door on my way out. I didn't make a dramatic exit. I just slipped into the night with the same quietness she'd used to dismantle us. 3 days later, Mara texted me. "I confronted him. Thank you for telling me the truth. I deserved to know." I reread that message several times. Not because it made me feel vindicated, but because it reminded me of something I'd forgotten. Honesty doesn't destroy people. Secrets do. A week after filing, I walked out of the courthouse feeling lighter than I had in years. Not happy, not triumphant, just free. Sometimes love ends in flames. Mine ended in silence. And somehow the silence was kinder. Because when someone shows you who they are, you don't look away. You walk away. And you don't look back.